Only on 13, a man from Troy speaks for the very first time after filing a lawsuit against the Troy Police Department and the city of Troy over an incident that began with him beeping his car horn.
I'm an African American in America. This is not the first time I've seen it on TV. It's not the first time I've been pulled over for no reason. This is what happens in America.
The perspective through the eyes of an injured and traumatized man. Dan Levy spoke with Matthew Edwards. He's also obtained body cam video of the violent incident involving the police here. Dan joins us live from Troy with the story you're seeing first on 13. Dan, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mark. It was 1 year ago this week when Matt Edwards was driving home after a long work day. He had been working for 14 hours that day, and he was looking forward to relaxing at home. But instead, because of what happened at this intersection, 3rd and Madison in Troy, his entire world changed that night. It was the evening of July 19th, 2024. Matt Edwards had just finished a long day at work. He was almost home. He was second in line at a traffic light, but when the light turned green, the car ahead of him didn't budge, so he beeped his horn. Turns out the guy in that car was a Troy cop.
I gave him a little toot just to let him know that the light was green. He gave me this look out the side of his side mirror. I knew right then that there was a situation that was about to happen.
A situation that began seemingly as an innocuous incident turned into a violent encounter with police and is now a federal lawsuit.
In my mind, the question has always been not what, but why. You know, we know what happened. We don't know why.
It's not harassment.
What we do know is that Matt Edwards did arrive home a few minutes after the horn beep. When he got out of his car to wheel trash barrels in from the street, that's when Troy police officer Taylor Gamache showed up. He got out of his car with his body cam turned on.
I got very nervous and scared when I seen him follow me through the back alleyway. I've seen a lot of things on videos about things that happen to people with cops in the back of an alleyway. So at that point, I was very nervous.
As it turned out, Matt's gut feeling was correct. After police backup arrived, he was tackled to the ground and handcuffed, charged with illegal horn tooting, parking too far from the curb while he brought in his trash barrels, and resisting arrest.
It got very physical. I had my hands up, didn't know why this altercation was happening. I asked all the cops that was on the scene, what was the issue, what was the crime, what did I do wrong? They all didn't have an answer for me. Instead, they just decided to throw me against the wall, give me the injuries that I'm sustaining right now, and I just didn't know why.
Well, Matt Edwards has undergone 2 surgeries on his injured right wrist. He is a welder. He tells me he is unable to do that work because of the injury. Troy police officer Taylor Gamache remains on active duty. Now, because there is pending litigation, city officials are not able to comment on this case. So does Mr. Edwards think this was racially motivated? His answer to that and more on this story coming up all new at 5 o'clock. We're live in Troy with coverage you can trust. Dan Levy, News Channel 13. Mark and Sabrina, back to you.
Dan, with that exclusive interview, thank you very much.
Well, what you're seeing right here, this began as something that a lot of drivers probably encounter each and every single day. Somebody behind the wheel, maybe just not paying attention, they're stopped in front of you, and then there's a polite little beep of a horn to wake them up. Have you done that? Well, an incident like that has turned into a federal lawsuit now. It's a story that you're going to see only right here on News Channel 13. Our Dan Levy speaking with the man in Troy who beeped his horn and wound up in handcuffs. Dan now joining us live from Troy where this, I think we can say, bizarre story began to unfold just over 1 year ago. Dan.
Certainly an unfortunate story, Steve. Good evening to you. It was at this very intersection, 3rd and Madison in Troy, where Matt was just driving home from work last July. He stopped at this light, and when the light turned green, he happened to beep his horn. It just so happens the driver ahead of him was a Troy cop.
Do not touch him. This is unlawful.
The images captured on this body camera video worn on the chest of Troy police officer Taylor Gamache are ugly and upsetting, but perhaps the most troubling part of it is that the man seen being tackled, handcuffed, and arrested isn't necessarily surprised that it happened.
I'm an African American in America. This is not the first time I've seen it on TV. It's not the first time I've been pulled over for no reason. This is what happens in America.
Up until that incident in July 2024, 38-year-old Matt Edwards was earning a living as a welder. He says he can no longer weld because of the injuries he sustained to his right wrist on that day.
Every day is a struggle. The little things, mopping, sweeping, washing dishes, basically unbearable for me to do now.
What remains unfathomable for Edwards is why a Troy police officer would get bent out of shape because someone tooted their horn at him. Edwards was initially charged with illegal horn blowing, parking too far from the curb as he wheeled his trash barrels in, and resisting arrest. All charges have since been dropped, but the only thing left is why.
You know, I can't get into the officer's mind, so I don't know, but maybe it was just a bad day. You know, a hard day of work, or he didn't get enough sleep, or, you know, he burned his toast for breakfast that morning. I don't know.
What Matt Edwards knows is that he's still living with the aftermath.
I just know that I'm traumatized about the situation. I feel like when I see the cops now, I don't feel like I'm safe. I'd rather stay in my house than come outside. I don't know. I'm just at a point where I just don't know what to do moving forward.
Because of the pending lawsuit, city officials were unable to comment on the video or the incident. Officer Gamache does remain on the job. So what would Matt Edwards like to see happen next? That part of the story is coming up all new on News Channel 13 live at 6. We're live in Troy with coverage you can trust. Dan Levy, News Channel 13. Steve, back to you.
It's the day that Matt Edwards says changed his life forever, and he believes it never should have happened.
After Edwards beeped his horn at a Troy police officer just over a year ago, the whole thing led to a violent encounter and now a federal lawsuit.
And much of the encounter was captured on police body camera video. And in a story you're seeing only on 13, Dan Levy sat down with Edwards, who says he can no longer earn a living doing what he was once able to do. Dan is live with the story in Troy. Good evening to you, Dan.
Mark and Sabrina, good evening. It happened right here at this intersection when the traffic light behind me turned green on July 19th of last year here at Madison and 3rd. The sequence of events that followed truly changed the course of Matt Edwards' life. When the light turned green at 3rd and Madison last July, Matt Edwards beeped his horn at the police officer in front of him just to let him know.
I realized the light was green. I gave him a quick little toot. I didn't know what he was doing in his vehicle. He could have been looking at his phone, doing cop work.
Moments later, when Gamache drove up to Edwards' home, words were exchanged. Backup officers arrived, a scuffle took place, and Edwards wound up on the ground in handcuffs, under arrest, with an injured right wrist.
I know I was targeted. I know that there was times where this could have been de-escalated, and instead of it escalated.
The events of that evening have now led to a civil rights lawsuit.
The end game, honestly, it's recognition, I guess, to show people that this is unjust, you know, just beeping your horn at a cop to let them know, hey, the lights changed. You know, we do this all the time as American citizens.
I asked Edwards' attorney, Art Frost, if he thinks his client would have been better off telling the officer his name when asked.
This isn't, you know, 1930s Germany where, you know, let me see your papers. So no, a citizen is to be left unmolested and carry about on his day.
Art Frost says what he sees as a lack of proper police training is likely going to cost city taxpayers a bit of money.
Well, the legal system doesn't deal in apologies. So the most that the legal system can give someone like Matt is compensation. He's been injured, he's been damaged, he's been traumatized, and the only way to recompense him for that is financially. That's what we're looking for.
After undergoing 2 surgeries on his right wrist, Edwards says he's permanently injured and traumatized and unable to earn a living as a welder. Police Officer Taylor Gamage remains on active duty, and because of the ongoing litigation in this case, city officials were unable to provide any comment. We're live in Troy with coverage you can trust. Dan Levy, News Channel 13. Mark, Sabrina, back to you.